Hey everybody, it's the Keto Baron, and I'm back here with an update on how my first week back going on the keto shaped up for everybody. As you may remember, for June I did carnivore to try that out with some friends for the 4th of July. I took the week off and indulged in a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have. And now I'm back on keto. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to walk that walk with everybody. I wanted to take everybody along on that journey. So if it's your first time doing it, you have a guideline or you have some sort of frame of reference or you can see the steps I take. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the lessons that I learned over here on the side. I'm going to pop up some of the screenshots from Carb Manager, and I'm not going to go too much into any specific day generally unless there's something really important. But what I want to do is just kind of give you the lessons that I learned and then finish up with some of the stats as well. I don't know if you can see it too good, but in terms of progress, this shirt is 2 sizes smaller than what I was wearing. So it's still working. It still seems a little loose, right? And hopefully we can get that keep working. But my clothes are fitting fantastic. If you remember last week, I said I was getting some pants taken in. From the time I got measured to the time I started wearing those pants, a couple of them, they were a little bit bigger, but I think I lost about 10 inches off of my waist, all said, maybe 8 in the last 11 months alone. So it's been pretty tremendous change, and I'm pretty cheap. I don't like buying new clothes. So I got those taken in, and they're still, they're there, like they're wearable, but they're pretty loose. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and buy some clothes for a skinnier big guy, I guess, is how I would put that. But let's get right into the things that I learned. Now, get into what I learned for this week. There were 3 major themes that I want to pass along to everybody. The first of those themes is that cheating, the recovery from cheating, absolutely sucks. It stinks in 2 ways. The first way it stinks is getting back into ketosis. When you're in ketosis, your mind, your energy is flying high. The keto flu is real. It doesn't feel as terrible as it did 11 months ago or 10 months ago, but it's no picnic by any stretch of the imagination. So that's the first way that getting back in really stinks. And then the second way is uh, it, maybe it was what I ate, but it seems like sometimes the carbs linger, even when I'm active. And it seemed like it lingered for a few days. Now, that just might be me, but looking 2 or 3 or 4 days after you have cheated and seeing numbers that are higher than you would like and that are higher than what you're putting into your body can be a little, not disconcerting, but it's annoying. It's like it makes me beat myself up. Like, how stupid could I be doing this? I shouldn't have done it. Now it's 4th of July, so it won't happen often. One of the things that reminds me of when you're on keto, you know your social event calendar. And it helps to plan and to look at it and to actually think about going into those situations and what you're going to eat and what you're going to do. I have a number of social situations coming up. I'm going to meet friends a few times this week. So I have to be real conscious of what I put into my body at those times, and just kind of letting it go or not thinking about it is not an option. Because one of the things I did learn this week was diet drinks are completely useless. The second thing, stay away from diet soda pretty much as you can. I learned my lesson with the sparkling water and the sucralose. I learned my lesson with aspartame and the Diet Coke or Coke Zero or Diet Pepsi or Pepsi Zero, whichever of those I had. We had some left over from the week, and I was like, okay, well, I'll have some with dinner, or it's in the afternoon. As I transitioned, I kind of used a glass of soda to help me at times to kind of nurse me back into ketosis. And while it didn't spike maybe crazily from that, or maybe it did, it definitely didn't help. And coincidentally, Nick Norwitz this morning posted a video, which I will link in the description, and I will link him. He does some fantastic content He's a doctor, so he's way more official and understanding and knowledgeable on this stuff than I am. I'm just giving you the user experience and what I'm seeing in my own body. He looks at the studies and breaks those down, and he's incredibly intelligent and articulate about that. But he was talking about the effects of sucralose and glucose as well today in his video. And it was nice to have that kind of corroborate or fit into my head saying, okay, I got to slow down with those. While it might not be the worst thing in the world for me, let's really minimize how often we have that. So this upcoming week, the game plan will be no diet sodas when I'm out with friends. And I'm going to be real conscious of when we go to eat, and what I can and cannot avoid is going to be the game plan for that. And then I have some other events coming up. But the point of all of that is you got to kind of plan ahead, and you got to kind of look and figure out what you're going to do and get a game plan. If you kind of go in there freewheeling, you're not going to like the results. That's my takeaway from it. Part and parcel to that soda issue. And the last thing I learned is pretty positive and pretty huge. And another thing that I'm going to try here is I seem to do better when I exercise or when I was active in the evening. So after dinner, if I went for a walk, one day I went to the gym with my son, and he almost killed me there again. But walking after dinner seemed to be a huge benefit. Now, over this week, I believe it was Friday, I took it pretty easy. My ankle was hurting. It's been surgically repaired a few times, and it didn't feel great after all the activity. So I wanted to take it easy, and that's what I did. But in general, I noticed being active after dinner. So my game plan going forward will be active in the morning, which I love to do because I have tons of energy. And then after dinner, take a little bit of time, get that 10, 15-minute walk in, listen to my body, but realize that little bit of activity at the end of the day is super helpful. It makes me feel great, and I sleep better, I think, with it. You have a little bit of bumps getting back into ketosis sleeping, I found, where you don't sleep as great as you do, but I sleep like a baby once I'm in there. And once I get that activity, I think I have so much energy and so much excitement for what's going on in my body that, it's a good place to put that energy. So those are the things I learned. There's going to be a bonus thing for next week, which will be the effects of apple cider vinegar and vinegar as I have it throughout the week. At the end of the week, I got some. I don't mind the taste. So I'm going to have a tablespoon of that and some water daily to see what that does with my numbers, and we'll see if we get lower with the diet and everything else. I have it in salad with oil. That's the only salad dressing I'll have, and my preferred salad is some oil, vinegar, lettuce, and olives, and I'm a happy camper with that. So that's what we're going to find out in the coming weeks, but let's look at my numbers next. Let's get into these numbers here to finish it up. I scribbled down the weekly averages. As you can see here, the weekly average on my glucose was 105. I'm not excited about that, but all things considered, what I talked about here from what I learned, not terrible. Not on any drugs, not using any of that stuff as a crutch, but 105 for the glucose is not ideal, but I think we'll get it down here in the coming weeks. It'll be a challenge this coming up week, but that'll be fine. Next, if I can look here, my weight at 273. Pretty exciting point in the week. I hit 269. So that was the first time I was under 270 pounds, probably since college. It's been a very long time. If you know me, most of you probably don't remember me at that size. And for that, I can't be too upset. Now, it came up a little bit. I was a little less active at the end of the week, like I mentioned. Couldn't walk as much. I wanted to rest my ankle. But seeing the forest through the trees, I couldn't be more happy with that, knowing that I'm working out, knowing that I'm lifting weights, knowing that I'm walking, knowing that I'm getting my exercise in. I'm happy with all of that. I can't complain. I'm a patient man. I can wait for this stuff to come to me by doing the right things. And that's a big lesson. A lot of people stall out, or a lot of people hit plateaus, or a lot of people hit different things. That's absolutely normal, and that's going to happen. The process is what matters. Keep to the process, you will see benefits. My number one fan is starting to see those benefits. And Mrs. Barron looks better than she's ever looked before, in my eyes, probably in everybody else's. She looks fantastic. She's starting to see the results, but she's keeping with it. And that's an important part for me as well as for her and anybody else. And then to finish up, you can see the calories that I had on average. Um, some day I don't worry about the calories that I eat. I worry about the carbs that I take in, and I kind of know what I'm putting into my body. Yesterday, I had a situation where I wasn't, or actually, it was Friday. Friday, I had a situation where I didn't know what was on the chicken wings that I were eating Friday because we went relaxed and had a nice Friday where that was our cheat, if you will. And my big cheat was just not knowing what the sauce was in the chicken wings. But I think I had a cheese stick or two yesterday that I included and did the numbers of, but I was really just guesstimating. But an average of 14 carbs for the week. Most of them were healthier byproducts from eggs, like I wasn't eating any processed foods other than the stuff that I just mentioned potentially that I didn't really have a handle on. And then you can see my steps. I averaged about 8,000 steps. A lot of days I got over 10,000. I went to the gym one day with my son. That was brutal. I exercise here at home as much as I can. Yesterday I got a really good one in. And that's how my week went. So with my activity, I'm real happy with how that's going. I'm real happy with how I look. I'm real happy with how I feel. Even after having that setback from enjoying myself over the 4th of July. And I shouldn't even say enjoying myself because I enjoy myself all the time. Today, we're going to have picanha, which is a top sirloin. I have it defrosted now. I'm going to grind my own meat. We got some chuck, as well as some leftovers from some ribeye and some strip loins that I cut up over the last few months, and I defrosted all those, and we're going to put those together, and I'm going to make my own ground meat for burgers. So I really enjoy this diet. I really enjoy everything about it. It really appeals to a lot of senses in me to do these things, and I enjoy it. So I shouldn't say that I wasn't enjoying myself or I was enjoying myself eating bad food, the food that wasn't healthy for me. I enjoy it greatly doing this. Tonight, it's going to be a salad. It's going to be the picanha. I'm going to eat like a king, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. And no matter how good that tastes, still the most important thing to remember is that no food will taste as good as success feels. This is the Baron, and I'll talk to you guys later.